What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got a nice replay for you guys to check out. This one definitely showcases the power of Infernoids and why I think they have a lot of potential, and people definitely need to take note because in 3 months, all of these cards will be in the TCG. So anyways, this would have to be classified, in my opinion, as a meta duel because we got Blue Eyes at the top. You guys know how powerful the deck is. It's kind of falling on hard times in the OCG because, I mean, let's be real, fucking Zodiac Beasts are drowning out everything. They're almost on some tier 0 type shit. The deck is that good. And in the TCG, it's still like a solid tier 2 deck. Not as good as Metaphos, PK Fire, or like ABC, but kind of like right on that lower level, like Mermail and shit like that. And then we have Infernoids down here at the bottom, a deck that has pretty much been crippled since Reasoning, but with the new cards and Raging Tempest, it's almost like that set was designed to fucking help like Infernoids because you got Void Madness, you got Lawn Mowing Next Door, but I still know there are a lot of people who don't want to commit to Lawn Mowing Next Door. They don't want to have to play a 50 or 55 card, 53, 60 card deck because they just don't think it's going to be consistent. They don't want to have to run Left Arm Offering, give up like half their hand. And I kind of get where people are coming from, but this is a version that just is straight up Infernoids. There's no Left Arm Offering. There's no, copies of what's it called, of Lawn Mowing Next Door. You see that it is 41 cards, 36 in the main, well, 36 here, and then, 5 in the hand. So I'm going to show you guys how good the deck can be even without like Lawn Mowing. So opens up with Charge the Light Brigade, mills a couple of cards, summons the Omega turn 1, and then he's able to activate Void Banishment, and that gets him the Void Madness. Now, if this card would have been a quick play, oh my god. If this card would have just been a quick play, it would have been so much better. But even as a trap, the fact that it is searchable still makes it extremely good. So you guys know how good Omega is and Infernoid's putting your dudes back in the deck. So he already has a pretty strong play, but then just having the Void Madness, which is just, it turns into just such a strong card. So he's able to put that back to Harmonique, and as soon as he activates anything, like he just immediately flips over Void Madness. Now the thing that you have to realize is he summons double Decatron, and then he summons like this guy right here whose name I totally cannot pronounce. But the thing is, not only does he have Infernoids in his graveyard, the Decatrons are going to turn into other monsters. Like the Decatrons send Ononchu, oh my goodness, can't pronounce it, and Devati to the graveyard, and then basically you copy those effects. So it's like your opponent is in a really tight spot because now they can't Regeki you. Now they can, like one of the big monster effects they want to use is basically taken away from them. You get DD Crow all over the place. He tries to go Galaxy Soldier. Not only does he get his Galaxy Soldier negated, but then obviously like Omega's just gonna basically just snipe Aroni like his hand. So he's just losing out on massive resources. He tries to go for Silver Scribe, but that gets negated as well. And then his graveyard gets completely torched. So let's just analyze this. This guy basically had 6 cards, and because of that Void Madness, I mean, he got Onochu'd, he got what's it called? He got Devati'd. His graveyard just got obliterated. This guy has 3 cards in his graveyard. His graveyard got obliterated, and he has still not even killed he still hasn't even dealt with the Psyframe Lord Omega. So now I know it does kind of look a little deceiving. You guys are like, hey, wait a minute, Cap. This guy has no resources over here, but come on, guys. You got to remember that Infernoids, they play from the graveyard. So when you look at this graveyard and you see, like 5 Infernoids, 6, 7 Infernoids, plus a copy of like Voids here in the graveyard, like that's basically like a second deck for Infernoid. So the Infernoid player is perfectly fine. He gets a copy of Metaphos Fusion. I was unfamiliar that I didn't even know that Infernoids ran that, but I mean, I guess it does kind of make sense. You can blow it up and then you can put it back into your deck. Summons a copy of Antundel, and he's done a lot of damage. The game is almost over at this point. The Blue Eyes player does do a decent job of fighting back. Like he summons Alternative. He's able to run over Antundel at the cost of his Blue Eyes, which basically got sniped by Omega. The problem is, if you look at this board, like, did you ever really feel that the Blue Eyes player was like in control? Did you ever feel like he was a threat to win this duel? Because I didn't. Like, just watching this duel, I was like, nah. I'm pretty sure like the entire time that like Infernoids were in control, and he's able to blow up the alternative dragon, and then clearly he'd be able to attack for game. So it's just really I mean, a game that was completely one-sided in my opinion. I mean, the field, if you just looked at the advantage, would tell you that it wasn't, but nah, this was a one-side. Like, even if he didn't have the Ononchu in the grave, he could have just summoned Antra. He could have bounced the copy of Alternative to his hand, and then he could have just summoned Antundel, and that would have been able to swing for game as well. But you know what I mean? This obviously gets the job done as well. Like, you could have just banished his graveyard. And I don't know, man. I feel like Void Madness is such a strong card because not just that it gets you 3 Infernoids straight from your deck, but when you get double Decatron, your Decatrons not only put Infernoids in the grave, but then they copy those effects. So like originally, you know, you would use things like Harmadique and you'd use like, you know, Patrula or whatever, but now you can use the big boss monsters and you can basically use them as defensive cards to protect your board. And Infernities have never really had that outside of Void Seer. So it's kind of like Void Madness has added a completely different dimension to the deck that it never had before. So you guys let me know. To be completely honest, I'm probably gonna start buying Infernoid stuff now, unless like even if Omega gets limited. I think this deck would still be fine. Like Omega would have to get banned, and I think the deck would still even recover. It'd still be good from there. But anyways, I've been rambling too long. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already.